Hi, welcome to The Veil. This is Rebecca, Leah, and Kate. We call ourselves the small mediums at large. The Veil is your cozy corner where the ethereal meets the everyday. Join us as we dive into the unseen world, guided by humor, heart, and a dash of mystery. Whether you're a skeptic or a seeker, we'll explore the mystical realm of spirit, intuition, and life after life, spinning tales, decoding signs, and inviting the occasional ghost to share a laugh or two. With sensitivity and wit, we invite you to explore the timeless connection between the living and the departed and find moments of magic in the most unexpected places. Tune in, open your heart, and let's whisper to the universe together. So I am Rebecca, and I'm going to invite in Kate to share a little bit about yourself.
Hi, I am Kate, and I would say that I had a spiritual awakening in 2020, and since then, my passion has been engaging with people and getting them to open up to their passion, their purpose in life, and trying to keep them as aware as possible. And I'm also an author of 2 books.
Amazing. Welcome. Hi, Leah. What about you?
Hi, Kate. Thanks, Kate. I'm Leah. I'm a psychic medium, but that's not what I've always been in my life. Just trying to share a little bit about my history to make things a little bit more normal. So I am a mom of 3 sons. I have a large dog behind me that keeps popping in. So dog mom, and I was a firefighter for almost 25 years. So I'm about as normal as they can get, as you can get if normal is a real thing. Since I was a child, I have had paranormal experiences. I've seen ghosts, I've done medium work, and I've experienced a lot of loss. So without all of the knowing that that's transpired in my life, I really would have drowned, having so much trauma. So I want to bring that to other people and show them that they can get through anything and heal from anything and still come out the other side and be shining and bright.
Oh, beautiful. Thank you both so much. And I'm Rebecca. I am a speech pathologist and I'm a mom, and I had a really life-changing, spiritually transformative experience in my 20s, from 2006 to 2008 that really caused me to do a lot of grappling with what was real and not real. And I saw light, felt angels, I started having psychic dreams, and then it ended. But I've still kept some of the gifts and have been sharing about my experience. And I'm excited to come on this new show today we're going to try to make the spiritual world a little more regular and more accessible. So today's topic today is when was the first time, maybe before our awakenings, if, Kate and I both had times before we were awakened and then times after, and it sounds like Leah's been having gifts her whole life, but when was the first time we knew there was more than just the physical world? So we're going to start with that. We'll just go ahead and start with Kate. When was the first time you knew there was more than just our regular physical world?
So the story that comes to mind right off the bat is when I was probably somewhere around the age of 17-ish. I had an experience that I now realize was spirit manifesting in the physical world and manipulating stuff in the physical environment. And I'll keep the story really short. I was at my grandmother's house alone with her. Doors were locked, and as we were sitting there, the door unlocked itself and opened.
Wow.
And that was before I really knew that there was something more than just the physical. But after that experience, I just was one of those no doubt, like there has to be something. I knew the door was locked. I knew there was nobody in the house, and it was all the unexplained. And that was my first glimpse, although I didn't have the awareness that I now do today to understand that that was probably a relative that popped in the house on us.
Wow, that's
Did it freak
wild.
you out or what?
I was scared but fascinated.
Oh, awesome.
That's a good way to
I don't
put
know
it.
about you, but when I was a child, I was absolutely terrified. I had things going on in my house. I saw a ghost and uh, constant noises. Even in high school, my girlfriends wouldn't sleep over anymore because of all the noise. And if you really like a funny story, one of my first boyfriends would came over and he wanted to come in my bedroom, and I kept saying no. We were downstairs, and thank goodness I kept saying no, because I heard somebody run across the hallway upstairs and slam a door, and he almost about died. And he left the house, and he thought it was one of my family members, but there was no one up there. So it was kind of like them saying, no, she's not letting you upstairs. No way.
Wow, that's so cool. They were protecting you. Now,
Yeah.
Leah is what we would call probably a born medium. Would you consider yourself a born medium, just naturally tuned into the other side?
I would say yes, but humbly I would say I think everyone is.
Okay.
It's
Now,
just a matter
yeah,
of refining your skills and, like Kate talks about, becoming aware of what things are.
yeah,
Just knew at a young age, I could not only see things, dream things, but I also felt certain things. So I would go into a house and not feel good. And sometimes I'd go in and start shaking. Like I knew it just didn't feel right. And other people's, that would come near me, like just like a child, off the bat, they just gave you the EBGBs or not.
hmm right.
And that just got more intense the older I got. I could kind of feel what others were feeling. So, but I think everyone has that innate ability. Just some have it a little stronger than others, depending on how you grow up, I guess.
Yeah. Wow. Now, did you, when you were in the house, do you think all of these things were happening in the house because of your open abilities, or were you living in a haunted house?
I definitely think it was a haunted house.
I wonder if
But
that
I
went
know,
in.
my mom had abilities. It was kind of an unwritten rule in my home not to speak about things. You were crazy.
Yeah.
And my mom would say saw my brother laying on the couch in a cast. And, inevitably he'd have a motorcycle accident the following week and was in a full body cast. And my brothers and everybody were kind of afraid of what my mom would say. So they learned to make fun of her. And I learned to keep my mouth shut about the things I saw because I didn't want to get made fun of by everyone in my family.
Wow.
I think it was just kind of there and we were all attuned to it, but we didn't know what it was back then.
Wow.
I just knew I was deathly afraid of the dark and I knew things were lurking around and I didn't appreciate it.
Yeah. Wow. So fascinating. I love it. Okay, well, I'll share the first time I knew that there was more than the physical world. I was raised in a really skeptical family, but I had a trauma at 13, which led me to do a lot of healing. But I think at the act of being traumatized put me in like between the worlds a way, because I've heard that if the physical world isn't taking care of you, the spiritual world does. And I think in that space, I remember being 13 or 14, I was on the phone with a boy. And, I was raised in a Jewish family, but I come from like an interfaith family, but I was raised Jewish. And this boy on the phone was like, I heard you're Jewish. Are you Jewish? And I was like, no. And as soon as I said it, I felt a stone hit me really hard on the shoulder, and it was like angry and mad. And I was such a grumpy teenager. I turned back and I was like, leave me alone. Like, whatever you wear, like, I don't care. Like, I'm going to say what I want to say. But so that was the first time I remember something really spiritual happening. I don't know if it was like my angel or if it was my great grandmother who immigrated here from Hungary who was Jewish. So
Oh, wow.
that was the first time I was like, that was definitely like a real spiritual phenomenon that I remember. And it was like the first one at 13. So 14, I don't remember. So
But
that
did
was
you
the first
realize
time
it afterwards, like as soon as it happened? Were you
I
like,
knew right away it was coming. If like when you're young and like, I just knew it was coming from somewhere, that wasn't a real person around me, but I could feel whatever it was. And it was mad that I lied about being Jewish. And I like learned my lesson. Like I never really did that again. So, but yeah, that was the first time, and then I didn't have a lot happen, except those nightmares, which I think were kind of a spiritual in nature. I didn't have anything else really till my 20s, till I started healing, and then had that big spiritual experience. So it was just like that one, and then nothing else for a while.
Oh, okay.
So,
What was you said you had nightmares?
yes,
All three of us have had some major like dreamscape stuff, you
but
know.
the nightmares were like definitely related to trauma, and I got them to go away during my spiritual experience through light and God and telling them I wasn't afraid. But they had been like in around me, like plaguing me in my sleep paralysis
Oh gosh,
from like 13 to 26. When did
Oh,
y'all have
wow.
the same thing?
I've had those same experiences, and they're really bad. Like dreams for me are really prophetic, and I dream within a dream within another
Yeah.
dream, and I
Yeah.
pick myself up from those nightmares into another dream, but I think I'm really awake.
Right.
And I thought everyone did that until I mentioned it at work once, and everyone looked at me like I had three heads.
No, it's so cool. I've never had a dream within a dream. I think that's fascinating.
Really?
I've had psychic dreams, but I haven't had dreams within a dream.
Oh,
You have a definitely amazing dream life.
yeah. I don't. I'm not really sure what goes on sometimes, but the
That's so cool.
paralysis is tough, especially when you're trying to get out of one.
Yeah. I don't
That
know.
burning.
Kate, have you had that too?
Not in a prolonged incident or ongoing. I've had individual dreams like that.
Yeah.
But thankfully, not too many. Mine have been probably way more positive and psychic than bad, dark and fighting the monsters.
Yeah. That's neat.
And
Well,
When did you have? Oh, I'm sorry, Rebecca.
yeah.
I was just gonna ask her, like, when you said you had that first experience with the door opening, and then how long did it take for you to get to like something else where you knew things were just different?
when I was about 50.
Oh, really?
Actually, that's what I wanted to touch on because Rebecca, you said that you had a wait, is it spiritual transformatives?
Yeah.
Which,
It's just a
all right.
fancy name. Spiritually transformative experience. Yeah,
Okay.
ST.
STE. Okay.
Mhm.
And of course I called mine an NGE instead of a near death experience. I call it a near God experience.
Oh, I
But
like that. I love that.
what I find fascinating is once I had that experience that tipped me over and opened me up to, hey, there is more than what's in the physical, then that allowed me to go back and start really examining some of the stuff that happened earlier in my life. And I realized I had a lot of experiences, but I wasn't that aware. I
Yeah.
blew stuff off constantly.
I think a
So
lot
that
of
makes me want to ask you guys the question, once you really started to open up, did you go back and look at some of the other things in your life and realize, oh, that was a spiritual experience, or that was a mediumship type situation, or that was a psychic experience?
Yeah. Leah, do you want to go first? It's a
um,
great question, Kate.
it's a great question, but yes to all. You know, instead of being afraid, it became, oh, that's really cool. And wow, this can happen. And oh my goodness, my dreams do come true and they are real. And the feelings I get are real. Instead of just letting them go and blowing things off. So now it's a matter of wonder and excitement. And I can't wait for what's going on. It just happened to me the other day. And so it's just a constant now. And
That's
it's
so
really,
cool.
I think it happens for everyone. We just, like you said, Kate, everyone just kind of goes, oh, whatever. And you go about your day.
Yeah. And now it's like, yeah, that's very true. I think I had someone listen to an interview of mine and in the middle of it realized that she'd had these beautiful experiences with angels that she had just
Like,
ignored and like put away until she heard someone else talking. And she was like, oh, wait, I've had that. And it's like you took it down. I'll say I did the same thing. I had this huge STE and y'all met me before I was talking about it. I just shut it down and I was like, that was so out there. For a while I knew it was real and then I decided it wasn't. And then I just like almost totally forgot it had ever happened. And I think and that was like a lot to forget about. But I think it's more common than we realize that people on the planet are having spiritual experiences and then have no framework for them and then just turn them off or ignore them. Like Kate, like,
yeah.
realizing you had all these other experiences you just didn't realize were spiritual.
Yeah. And I think that's where my passion is, like Leah was saying. We love to use this term, I'm just a normal person.
Mhm.
I mean, just that the average Joe. I never consider myself a born medium or anything like that. So that's the part that I'm fascinated with, and I want to bring forth in other people to realize that you probably are having a lot of spiritual experiences, but you don't have the context, or you're not being aware enough, or you're not pulling the thread on them. So if we
Yes.
just follow them a little bit, want believe just for a minute and keep following it, then that starts to grow, and then you start having more experiences. So that's where my passion lies in all of this.
It's beautiful.
It
I
is
love it.
cool. And you
Should
know, the funny thing is too, is when I was growing up and was having experiences, and I would sit around at work or with my friends and tell them, I was almost telling them as right, like, is it real? I was waiting for someone to kind of confirm, and they'd all kind of look at me a little bit weird, but like,
Yeah.
no, who just died last week because I dreamt of them 3 times, but they look
Wow.
at me like, yeah, okay. And I honestly, I wasn't sure myself, like, what the line between reality and and the other reality, right?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
am I a nut job, or is that person a nut job? And so I think that's why the three of us wanted to be here, to tell people, like, we are your average Joe or Joanne's. and and we really want people to know that they do have a place, like those experiences have a place, because someone else would say, oh yeah, I had a dream about my uncle the other day. And see, my dog's doing it. Was that real? And if I said yes, everybody looked at me nuts, but the person really needed to know that that was a reality.
Yeah.
They were getting a visit from their uncle who passed. And those
Beautiful.
things are possible for everybody.
Yeah.
It's just a matter of, are they the new norm? You
I
know?
hope so. Because I love that. And I think it's a really important part of being human. If we can, be regular
Embrace
humans
the
and
other side, embrace the
have a
veil,
spiritual
you
side.
know?
Yeah. Yeah. Live within like understanding the spiritual side and using it to inform our physical lives. Because I think a lot of what's happened is our physical reality has gotten so out of touch with like spiritual principles, spiritual connection. How many times have your dreams helped you? Or Kate, your spiritual experience brought you so much wisdom that you've lived a better life. So I'm excited to start this show with y'all. For the end, should we go into how we met to let people know how we know each other? Because we are all friends in real life.
Yes,
Yes.
that would be great.
We met studying in Savannah, Georgia with Suzanne Giesman, who was all of our teachers. I think we all study with different people, but she was how we met. I had a dream to study with her, and she's helped me get back on the track of connecting to the other, like connecting to the angelic realm is what I use her teachings for. And then we met all at that training in 2021.
Oh, I think it was before COVID.
Okay, because I went in once in
First
2020.
for COVID.
Okay, the
Maybe,
first time I
well,
went.
maybe it was right for that.
Okay, I went in 2020, and then I went again in 2021.
I think it was 2021 because I wrote my first book and I think it was already out then. So I think it was 2021.
That's so funny. It seems like a long time ago, but it was just like 4 years ago. But I guess that was a
It's
long time ago.
forever. And my dreams will tell you that it's been before. So
Oh, really? Oh, that we met before that in the spiritual realm.
remember, my dream within a dream.
I
Well,
know, that's really cool.
yeah.
So, okay, so we were all there in Savannah. I met Leah at the bar, um, at the hotel bar. I walked up to her, and this is what happened. I
Your-
said, "Are you here for Suzanne's class?" And she said,
Is your name Rebecca?
she just knew. I hadn't even told her we didn't know each other. We hadn't connected. She just knew my name was Rebecca because she's that psychic. And
No, that's
and then Kate,
else actually, but
and then we met Kate that weekend as well. I think Kate and I might have connected on Facebook, and then we all sat together. We had a group together. We were in a practice group together.
yeah, I think my first reading and Suzanne's actually was Kate. She was the first one I got paired with, and I brought her dog through, which was the first time I ever brought an animal through, which was the coolest for me and for her.
Yeah, which is so cool.
That was awesome. But I do want to reiterate, like, I think the reason the three of us picked Suzanne's class on top of it was because she's not so woo-woo. So it's bringing the more normal I hate using the word normal, but bringing a more mainstream person who's had a lot of life experiences that would be considered mainstream into a spiritual realm that most people thought is just full of people with, turbans and crystal balls and tie-dyed shirts, however you want to think of it, and more woo-woo. And the three of us wanted to connect with more of a reality,
Yeah.
unreality, or reality than this reality. I don't even know what to call it.
And I will add, there was a lot of synchronicities for me before that, but what really caught my eye about going down to Savannah with Suzanne was that we talked about being a born medium or not being a born medium. She considered herself not a born medium. And that was the first time I had ever heard somebody speak out loud the fact that we all had this ability within us. It's not about being born with it or not born with it. And that blew my mind. I was like, I got to go look at this. So you're trying to tell me that anybody can connect to the other side?
Yeah.
And that's what brought me down there. I didn't realize they were going to put us on the spot and actually make us practice, because at that point, I had no proof that you could talk to the other side.
Oh, I
Got it that
remember
weekend.
that.
I got it
remember
that
that
weekend.
because I think you did a reading on me, one of your practice ones. You're like, I've never done this before. And then you did a
Never.
great job.
Oh my
That
God.
was amazing. It's
And
really
what's
cool.
really cool? We should teach our listeners how to do it, right?
Yeah.
Like, why not?
Yeah, that'd be
Try.
amazing. Let's do it.
That would be great. We'll have a question and answer show.
Yeah, we're going to tell y'all all kinds of stuff. It's going to be a fun show. We're going to keep it light and interesting and fun, and we're going to be back next time. And we also need to give this in memoriam to our other friend, Kelly, who was one of the other ones that we became friends with at this. There were four of us: Leah, Kate, Rebecca, and Kelly. And Kelly was the one that came up with the name Small Mediums at Large. So that's what we call ourselves.
Yeah, I'd
Love
like to
it.
consider Kelly as being here with us too.
Yep.
Yeah,
I know
we
she
love you,
is.
Kelly. So anyway, thanks y'all.
Excellent.
Thanks,
Thank
you guys.
you.
Bye.
See you next
Thanks. See you
time.
next
See you
week.
next time. Bye.
Okay.